Right, let's go ahead and take a look at the old competition. See who gets to name my deed for this series. Moonman South Rising. Some nice racist overtones, or is it Nazi? I forget. White Power, something like that. Bird's Eye View. It's a good suggestion. I like that one. Some Klar post. um, yeah, there's been plenty of good suggestions. I actually really enjoyed reading them all. Dingo Ain't My Baby, highly inappropriate. I like it. Um, yeah, Nope Australia, where every nope wants to kill you. Yeah, well, I mean, I would like that one probably more if there was more actually dangerous things there. Emu habitat. 18 likes. 18 fucking likes. You guys suck. G'day guys, Bloody Drongo here with you, aka Emu, and welcome to the first part of the Foster's Brewery series. Honestly, I think it's going to take me a really long time to come to terms with that name, but you know, when I started that competition, I went into it realizing that I was probably going to end up with a name that I absolutely hated. I just didn't realize just how much I would hate it. But there it is. It is what it is. So, step one, you can see here, I've got my large cart full of materials and a deed stake. And step one is going to be plant a deed. I've got my dimensions written out. I went ahead and scouted them out yesterday, so I know exactly how big I need to make it. The only problem is I'm just going to have to run around this entire valley, underground and above ground, and just make sure I kill everything so that I can actually plant the deed. So just bear with me while I do that. 3 hours later. Okay, so here we are. After more more reveal creature casts than I care to divulge. We've finally done it. And we're gonna plant Foster's Brewery. Hopefully I have enough silver in the account to plant this. It's going to be 46 by 74. It's going to cost me 34 silver, 6 silver upkeep, blah blah blah. Yep. There we go. It's done. Foster's Brewery has been planted. And now the fun begins. Okay, so I've finally finished doing most of the terraforming that I need to do. As you can see, it's coming along fairly nicely. I've actually managed to get a lot done today. Been very productive. And unfortunately, when I was terraforming this first little terrace up here, I may have typed screenshot 3 instead of timelapse 3 in a moment of madness, which was a terrible thing to do. And so I don't actually have a time lapse to show you of me terraforming this part. It's like, yeah, I've done a couple hours of work. Better go back and check how that's come out. Oh, I didn't actually do any. Whoops. So that's awkward. But you know, these things happen. So I've terraformed this area down here, which I originally wasn't going to do in this episode, but I was just like, well, you know what? I, I kind of have to. I want to put a time lapse in this first episode, so I went ahead and did it anyway, you know? And yeah, so what my first structure is going to be is just going to be a pretty simple, like, wooden shack type thing to serve as a base of operations. I'll have a couple of beds in there, maybe have my first forge and my first oven and that kind of thing in there. And yeah, so with the terraforming as well, I don't really like Ds that are just like completely flat. I think that's a little bit boring. So I like to have, like, I like to build my villages with lots of inbuilt like terraces and different elevations. I think it just makes it that much more interesting to look at when it's actually done. It gives it a little bit more variety, and I think it's nicer to look at, just nicer on the eyes in general. And it gives you a little bit more flexibility in designs and stuff, which should be cool. And once I start mixing in like multi-story and bridges and all that kind of cool stuff, I think it'll have a really nice effect overall. Yeah, so I'm just going to finish leveling up these few tiles at the back here, along here, so it's just in line with the lower terrace down there. And I think I'll raise up just behind the horse's ass there, a little bit of a dirt tile in front of the mine, just so that entire walkway there is all the same level. And I will start constructing the shack, and I'll do a little time lapse of that. And yeah. Okay, guys, so it's now a few hours later, and I've managed to get quite a lot done. It's been a very productive afternoon. As you can see here, I've walled off the mine with just some regular stone walls. And I've got a couple of statues of nymphs. And then going along this walkway here, coming out of the mine, I've put up some copper hanging lamps, which I've made up, and some chain link fences. And on either side here, with where the rough cobblestone I've put down is, what I'm envisaging is I think probably a 3 will be the only way it'll work. A 3 high building either side, and then a bridge connecting the two, so there's sort of like a little entrance gateway as you come into the brewery here. So I think that'll look pretty good. Not 100% sure what I'm going to use this little area yet for. I'll give that some thought in the coming week. Down here, I've got a little walkway. Got some more chain fences, some curbs on the left there. And in this corner here, I'm going to plant a little linden tree. I think linden trees look really good as like a sort of a decorative tree, as they're on flattish tiles, because they're not too big and they don't have branches that sort of invade your field of view if you're if you have, like, say if it's next to a ramp or something. So I think that'll fit really well there. In the middle here, I'm thinking maybe something bigger like an oak tree or something like that. And then we have the actual shack itself, the very first building of the Foster's Brewery, and I think it's come up fairly well. I originally was only going to do the little main part on the left here as a one high, but as I was building it, I was just like, well, it doesn't look quite right, so I'll add on a second layer at the end there, and I think it looks really, really nice in the end. It's actually been a really long time since I made any buildings out of just the regular wood, so I had quite a fun time with these wooden wide windows, I think they're called. And around the back here, I also put down a what is it called? Wooden canopy. And I wasn't actually sure what that's called. I hadn't made one before. What it was, sorry. I wasn't sure what it was, so I put one of those down there. I think it looks really, really neat. I think it looks really cool. I haven't actually put anything in there just yet, so that'll be something I'll work on behind the scenes. Is just putting in a couple of beds and maybe a forge or two. And in under the canopy here, I'm probably just going to leave carts and stuff in here. But as well, because I'm normally such an unorganized person, I'm a bit of a whirlwind when it comes to organization. I've actually planned it out now, so made a little list of everything that I want to do. So one of the first things I'm going to want to do is plant an orchard. I want to get lots of apple trees planted in so that come harvest time, I'll be able to get lots of apple juice and then work on a clay tile, because having a clay tile here would be a massive, massive benefit, because currently I think it's about a 20-minute cart ride to the nearest clay tile, so it's a real, real pain for me to get clay at the moment. So I'm going to plant an orchard, and then the next task after that will be find a water source, because I don't want to have to be going back to the Blackbird Abbey every time I need some water. So I'm going to find a water source, and then if you can decipher that, I'm going to work on an iron mine so that I can, get all the resources I need, all the nails and iron ribbons and all that sort of good stuff. So that'll be coming up. A smithy to use all that stuff in, and I'll be putting that together. And I've got a basic idea of what I want to do with the smithy. I've got some really cool plans that I've sort of been playing around with, so I'm really excited for that one. Then we're going to go for some aminal puns, or animal pens, if you want to translate it that way. So, well, there probably will be animal puns included in that episode when I get to it, but I'm going to put in some animal pens because I'm going to need to put all the cart horses and all that sort of stuff in there, and get a bit of a breeding program going as well, because at the moment I think I only have like 4 horses, so that's definitely going to be necessary. Then after that is a guest house. A big thank you to everybody who sent me messages offering to give me a hand on the deed. The response was really, really great, actually. I was very surprised at how many people messaged me, people that I don't even know, saying, hey man, I'd love to come and give you a hand at some point, and I'm really grateful for it. So we're going to work on a guest house so I can put up these people so they're not sleeping on the dirt when they do come and give me a hand at various points. Then we're going to do a farm, of course, for obvious reasons. Every deed needs its farm. And then, because it's the Foster's Brewery, it's going to need an actual brewery. So for that, I'm thinking like a big industrial looking building. It's very large on the inside, and then just like lots of the barrels and all that kind of thing. I want to make it look like an actual sort of believable brewery. So there are a few of the ideas that I've got going on so far. So you can expect to see those coming up in future episodes. I've got plenty to keep me busy this next week between now and the next episode when you can expect it. I'll just mainly be making raw resources, maybe doing a few little tweaks here and there with what I've already done in this episode. And yeah, that's just about everything, guys. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. It's really lovely to be back making these time lapses, and it's been very refreshing making stuff that I haven't had a chance to make in years from being actually on Chaos, where, I mean, if you're building a wooden house, you're doing something wrong. So it's really nice to build with these materials, try out different things that I haven't done before. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the video, please give it a like, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video, guys. Until next time, stop playing with yourself and play with somebody else. Catch you later.